Welcome back to A Promenade Through Bordeaux. My name is Hella Mansour, your accredited guide. Today I'll take you back in time to the middle of the Middle Ages and introduce a formidable lady known to the world as Eleanor of Aquitaine. Eleanor of Aquitaine was the daughter of the Duke of Aquitaine, and France wasn't like it is today. It was divided into duchies. It was feudal. So the Duke of Aquitaine was allied to the King of France. Now, the Duke, her father, is on his way to Compostela, a very famous pilgrimage of the Middle Ages, and falls ill. He knows he's dying, and so he sends a secret message to the King of France and says, "Have your son marry my daughter Eleanor." Now, Eleanor at this time is only either 13 or 15 years old. Historians still don't know. Let's say she's 15 to put our hearts at ease. In all cases, the son of the King of France, Louis le Jeune, comes to marry Eleanor in Bordeaux on the 25th of July in the year 1137 in the cathedral. Months after their wedding, the King of France dies and his son Louis le Jeune is crowned Louis VII. Thus, Eleanor at a very young age becomes Queen of France. Now, Eleanor is way ahead of her times. She's the granddaughter of the first troubadour, so she's accustomed to poetry, music, lyric. It was Louis's elder brother who was supposed to be the rightful Dauphin, but when he was around 14 years of age, he was in Paris on a horse. A wild boar attacks the horse falls, and the child falls to his death. And so literally they take Louis le Jeune out of the monastery and he becomes future King of France. In all cases, Eleanor realizes early on in her marriage that it's not the best of all matches. And she even nicknames her husband the Monk. It took them 7 years to have their first child. But alas, it was a girl. And in those days, ladies could not be future queens, only queen consorts. And so what do? They set off to the Second Crusade. Now they try to make it to Jerusalem, but they're stuck in Antioch, like modern-day Turkey. So they get into a big dispute. She takes a ship, he takes another. She somehow solicits the Pope and says, "I want my marriage annulled." Now the Pope looks at his watch at that time and says, "Whoa, it's the 12th century, Eleanor. Give it another go. Have another child. Future King of France." She gets pregnant, and it's a girl. So she packs and leaves in the year 1152. 8 weeks, 3 days later, she proposes to a younger gentleman, around 11 years her junior. His name is Henry Plantagenet. He is Duke of Normandy, Count of Anjou, and 2 years after their marriage, he becomes the King of England. So Eleanor was queen twice. Once the Queen of France, then the Queen of England, and takes the size of Aquitaine with her and annexes it to the English crown. So Aquitaine becomes English for 299 years. Later on, Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine would have 8 children amongst themselves. 3 girls, 5 boys, 2 future kings of England. Richard Lionheart and John Lackland were Eleanor's sons. With this union with the English king, there was more England and France than France and France at this time. There'll be more on Eleanor, her grandfather, and grandmother in other episodes. For now, I'd like to recommend a movie called Lion in Winter, where Katharine Hepburn plays an amazing role, Oscar-winning, by the way, of Eleanor of Aquitaine, and Peter O'Toole plays Henry Plantagenet. Looking forward to guiding you once again on A Promenade Through Bordeaux.